Hi there, Shauna here from Wellness Seeker, coming to you on Monday evening again with your Monday wellness for the week ahead. So, this week's topic is really a continuation of last week's. And last week's topic received, I think at this stage, around 7,000 views. Last week's topic, for anybody that didn't catch it, was healing hurt and pain. And this week we're going to continue that theme because I've been flooded with emails from that one particular video. And this week we're going to understand why, or we're going to put at least some meat around the why, and so that you can understand yourselves, you can understand what has happened, and you can understand why you feel or think the way you do. Now this is a massive, massive concept and a massive issue for a lot of people. I know because I work one-to-one with them, and I also know for me. There's a major, major misconception out there that the pain that you're in, or the difficulty you're in, or the difficult thoughts you have, or the difficult feelings that you have, has had to come from some major, major source of hurt. And here's what I mean about that. It has had to come from this real difficult place of trauma, of tragedy, of this huge newsworthy event, for it to be relevant and for it to have caused the pain that it's causing you. And I know a lot of our clients are searching for that big newsworthy event that has happened to them, searching for those things. And I hear an awful lot of them saying, but I had a good childhood, I don't understand. Nothing really bad happened to me, I don't understand. And they're exhausted from this search, from trying to understand why they feel as bad as they do. And they get into this kind of despair because if it's not that big and they can't see it and they've no reason to feel the way they feel, maybe this is just who they are. And then things start to get a wee bit complicated and difficult for them. But they're searching for the big answers. They're searching for the big meaning. On the flip side of that, I also have people, and I've talked to people and been in one-to-ones with people who have had major events happen and do not understand why it's still with them 20 years later, why they still believe something that they don't even understand what it is 10 years later, that they've had these things happen to them, but they do not understand why it has impacted upon them the way it has. So it's the two sides of the same coin, but there's confusion about the why. And I see that time and time and time again. And the big, big one in this really is, nothing really bad has happened to me. I shouldn't feel the way I feel. They can't really quantify and qualify why these feelings, why this fear, why this, whatever it is inside them is there. And they search. And they're exhausted from the search. Now there's an answer to this, and this is the stuff that I look for when I'm dealing with one-to-one with people. So what I'm trying again to do is to reach out in a message of hope again. There's an answer. There's an answer for why you feel the way you feel. There's an answer for why you think about yourself the way you think. And that answer is what I call a defining moment. And I can tell you that in all of the work that I've ever done on me, in all of the work that I ever do at one-to-one level or workshop level, it always transfers. 8 times out of 10, it transfers directly on to a defining moment that that person has had in their life that has changed how they feel about themselves and has changed how they feel about the world around them. Now there's key words there. There's an experience, and there's the way that you view yourself in that experience. So, there's lots of things happen to us in life, and people tell us things about ourselves. But nobody does the damage that we do to ourselves. When we make our minds up that yes, we are useless, yes, we are stupid, yes, we are whatever the negativity is. When we make our minds up in that moment that there is something wrong, something bad, something mad, whatever it is about us, then what happens then is that we believe it with such an intensity. The emotional fallout from that sears it into our memory. I hope that makes sense. We have these defining moments in our life where we experience the world as negative, where we experience the world as not a good place, and we experience ourselves in that world in a very negative way. And because it comes with such emotional power, because it comes with such emotional intensity, then what happens is that we believe what we have experienced as the truth, and it becomes seared into our memory, it becomes seared into our self-concept, it becomes seared into our understanding of ourselves. And we continue to live with that memory, we continue to live with that language pattern that we've created in ourselves, we continue to live as if that defining moment were true. And we never, ever, ever question it. Why? Because it feels true, it's too painful, and we will never go back to it. Because we will open up all that pain, all that experience, and our fundamental thing is that we don't want it to be true, even though we believe it was. And I can tell you guys, we have only got a handful of these defining moments, which is amazing. Because what that means is most of the hurt and pain that we carry around with ourselves is because of these defining moments. So what that means is that you don't have to carry the hurt and pain that you've had. You don't have to hold it. You don't have to believe it anymore. But what you have to start doing is you have to start questioning it. You have to start to find the place where this defining moment happened and undo it. And there's the magic, guys. You don't have to go around searching in your head for years and years and years and trying to make sense of this. Why? Because your feelings are your fishing lines for this defining moment. And I don't know how many times I've been one-to-one with someone and we've worked on a feeling, and a feeling has brought them directly to a defining moment where they've believed something about themselves in that moment and have never caused to question it. You see, it doesn't have to be newsworthy. It doesn't have to be trauma. It doesn't have to be tragedy. It can just be a moment in time where you've believed something about yourself then and you still believe it now. That's all it needs to be. So we don't need to go looking for the big scary monsters. We don't need to go looking for the big traumatic events. We just need to use the resources that we have within us, which is in our hearts and which is our felt sense, and we can travel to that place and clear it.